Hey guys, how's it going? We are in ZG, and we're gonna get this bad boy, the Zulian Tiger. You know, we're on the Blood Death Knight, so gear-wise, there's not much that you need. You do need one invisibility type ability, that being the Gnomish cloaking device, or your just invisibility potions, which we have right here. Not a big deal. I just go with the potions, call it a day. But if you wipe, you gotta wait for the cooldown. Not a big deal. Gearing-wise, I would suggest going with a DPS 4 set if you have a choice. It does way more damage. The tank set's fucking useless. There's no real reason to go it. So let's just get on with it. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have Bone Shield up and go to the left, because these mobs actually hit pretty hard, and we're just gonna be skipping right past them, and you could actually die if you're not safe. So we're gonna be taking the safe, and we're just gonna go on the path. So these mobs right here on the on these raptors do in fact charge, so they are very dangerous. Try to jump as much as possible because you can sometimes get more air like I did there. Um, and hopefully I don't fucking die here. But in another video that I watched of this farm itself, it was said that you actually do need this because of these mobs that are chasing you. They won't stop chasing you. But apparently, which I found out, which is really cool, is that they won't actually. If you drop off here, right to this right, you will actually be in a reset spot for some reason, and they just will not come down here. So you can legitimately just wait for your to get out of combat, and then just run past these guys with an invisibility potion. But with me, I have the cloaking device, which can be used in combat, which is really cool. But I'm just going to show here that you don't. See, I'm out of combat. No big deal. Let's use my cloaking device. Let's get past this pack. You cannot kill this pack. It has like 5 of these monsters, and they do a lot of fucking damage. Unironically, do a lot of damage, so there's no real reason to attack them. Just use the invisibility and call it a day. Put on my actual trinket. I would also suggest using one DPS trinket, which is Bone Link, and another one being a tanky trinket. I would highly suggest either using this one or the one that gives a shit ton of mastery, which can give you a shit ton of shield, which is actually really good. Consume-wise, I would highly suggest using pretty much everything, that being Drums of the Frog and Kings, because it gives you 4% stamina and strength, which is absolutely nuts, but also the magic resistance, because this boss does a lot of fucking magic damage for some odd reason. He's more of a caster in the first phase, so I would especially get that, and food buff is not that big a deal. The runescroll fortification, which just gives you a shit ton of stamina, and of course a flask. Outside of that, you can use as much as you want, and of course be pretty abyss in my opinion. So let's start off with this boss. You don't want to attack her really at all. You just want to kill all these mobs on the right side. So we're gonna pull them, and we're just going to just kill these guys. Through the fight itself, just use your cooldowns loose, like whatever you feel like it, and try not to overpull like I just did right here. For some odd reason, my fucking Dancing Room Up likes to pull a lot. During the fight, she will put a dot on you right here. You want AMS that every single time. Outside of that, you want to rune tap for health as much as possible, and every time you kill a pride, you just want to pull another one. Not a big deal. Try to keep your dots on her, just because when she does melee, she actually does hit decently hard. But honestly, just be safe in my opinion, and just go one at a time and take this nice and steady. She can't really kill you unless you're just being very aggressive. And bam, she used another one. I'm going to use Icebound here because I don't have my anti-magic shell up, so I'm just going to use that just to survive. Not a really deal. You want to use your cooldowns early, especially since they will be back up by the time you actually need them in the last phase, and we will talk about that when we get there, but mostly just use them early. The only ability that you do not want to press is do not want to press your Arm of the Undead. You're gonna need that for the last phase because she actually does hit quite hard. She's doing this cry, just interrupt it if she's near you, but if she's nowhere near you, there's no reason to do it because it just does damage around her, so it's really not a big deal. She does this wave, just don't go near it. It's really nothing at all. Onto the wrong character. She hasn't done her, oh, there it is. As I was saying. She's crying, I'm gonna run away, not a big deal. did it again. I'm gonna pop my vampiric blood and just try to heal as much as possible. The cool thing about it is that it does so much damage, so you get a way more healing from your fucking death strikes, which is actually pretty interesting. That's why it's good to be paired with vampiric blood. And then once they're all dead, just take it slow and steady until you push her to 50%. It's pretty much impossible to die here. Make sure you're interrupting as much as possible in this, because you'd much rather her whack you because of your mastery. Now she's going to be pushed into last phase. Do as much damage as you possibly can while she's doing absolutely nothing. She's going to transform into her cat form, and all this phase really is just a race to kill her. As long as you do not pop cooldowns early here, you want to save it for later on, because she gets this buff, Rage of the Ancients, which increases her damage, and haste. So the longer the fight goes on, the more damage she's going to be doing. Okay? So just DPS her. Don't really use anything before this, and then eventually she'll go invisible, and right now, that's when you pop your Arm of the Undead. This will actually tank her, unlike most bosses, so you can actually build up a decent shield while she's just fucking off and killing your ghouls, which is actually really cool. You can save this for later if you're struggling with damage and you want to prolong it, which is fine, right? Kind of whatever. When it comes to Empowered Rune Weapon, just use it. It really doesn't matter too much. If you need to use it to survive, I would suggest doing that. But after your Army of the Undead is dead, she will probably whack you for a tiny bit, and then she'll go invisible for the second time. Right? There we go. Visible for the second time. You apply everything. And then once she comes out, and then wait until around 10% to use your then IBF. Right? Use one right in the beginning of the fight just to kill the tigers, or use it on her dot, and then they'll be back up for the last push, including your other cooldowns like Dancing Rune Weapon and all that shenanigans. And then boom, easy peasy. No mount, but you know, that's the way it goes. Outside of that, it's actually pretty easy, especially with how much gear we have now. Get pre-raid bis, and this shit's so fucking easy. Really is really fucking easy. And then outside of that, if you wanted to get back to the beginning, because this is a dungeon that you can do every single day, instead of dying, you can legitimately just log out. Once you log out, 5 to 10 minutes later, if you log back in, you'll be put right back at the beginning. You walk out, and you can do it again the next day. Really easy. But just make sure that you remember to log back in and go out, because if you don't, you'll be hearthed, which means you will gonna have to run all the way back, and that shit's so fucking annoying. So you might as well just log out and remember to log back in. So, yeah. GG's, no mount, but I'll get it eventually. Have a good one.